For thousands of years, we've told stories about living forever. But what if we're on the verge of actually doing it? What if we could engineer an end to aging itself? Today, we're going to dive into the science, the sticky ethical questions, and the very real chance of a world without old age. Living forever? It feels like pure science fiction, right? Something out of a movie. But what if it's slowly becoming a question of science fact? Bioengineers are now seriously looking at whether we can reprogram our own bodies to just stop the process we call aging. And let me tell you, the answer is way more complex than you might think. So, is it possible? The short answer is kinda. It's a maybe, but with a massive catch. You gotta forget the whole idea of flipping some magic switch and suddenly becoming immortal. The reality is so much more complicated, and honestly, way more fascinating. All right, so to understand how we might fix aging, we first have to get the problem right. And it turns out most of us have been thinking about aging all wrong. It's not one single thing. A really powerful way to think about it is as a stack of tiny failures. See, it's not one big thing that goes wrong. It's that every single day, our bodies take these tiny little hits. Our DNA gets a little nicked, proteins get tangled up, and old, worn-out cells just kind of hang around instead of being cleared out. Aging is just what happens when all those tiny problems start piling up faster than our bodies can repair them. Now, here's a wild idea for you. Biological immortality is already a thing. It exists. There are creatures out there, like the Hydra, that are absolute masters of constant self-repair. They pretty much don't age. So why do we? Well, it all boils down to an evolutionary trade-off. Instead of spending a ton of energy on perfect, non-stop repairs, our biology went for efficiency, getting more done with less fuel. The cost of that efficiency? We slowly break down over time. So if aging is really just a stack of these tiny failures, could we engineer tiny fixes for each one? Well, that is exactly where the cutting-edge science is right now. This is basically the anti-aging toolbox scientists are putting together. Each tool is designed to fix a very specific failure. For example, they're working on ways to get rid of senescent cells. You can think of them like zombie cells that just stick around and cause problems. We're also using gene editing to tweak the pathways that control aging, and even looking at how to regenerate entire organs. The point is, there's no single magic bullet. It's a whole arsenal of targeted repairs. But let's imagine for a second we could fix everything else. Every organ, every cell, every single strand of DNA in our bodies. There is still one massive final obstacle that stands in the way of true, genuine immortality. Just picture it. We've solved everything. Your body is biologically 25 years old, and it stays that way forever. But it wouldn't be enough, because the brain is the final frontier. You can't just repair it or replace it like you would a liver or a heart. Its complexity is just on another planet. And this is the real heart of the problem. Your brain isn't just an organ. It's the physical structure that holds you. Every memory, your personality, your identity, it's all in there. So, real immortality isn't just about replacing tissue, it's about preserving that unbelievably complex neural network perfectly. And that is a fundamentally different and harder problem to solve. This brings us to a huge turn in the road, because the science isn't just about asking, can we, anymore? It's forcing us to ask a much, much harder question. Should we? Okay, this is probably the first and most glaring problem. If these treatments are incredibly expensive, do we create a world where the wealthy can live for centuries while everybody else just doesn't? That sounds like a recipe for a whole new level of inequality. And then there's the simple math of it all. Our planet is already feeling the strain. What happens when people stop dying, but we keep having babies? How do we manage the resources, the housing, the environment in a world where the population just keeps going up and up and up? And finally, there's the really personal question. Are our minds even built for an endless life? I mean, could you really handle the weight of centuries of memories, of loss, of boredom? It's a massive psychological challenge that we have absolutely zero experience with. So, with all these incredible scientific hurdles and these profound ethical minefields, what's the most likely future here? Well, it's probably not the eternal life we see in the movies, but it could be something almost as revolutionary. So here's the big distinction we gotta make. The dream of a permanent, death-proof body, that's still purely speculative. But the reality? Radical lifespan extension, living a healthy, active life to 120, 150, maybe even older. That is seen as a much, much more achievable goal in the years to come. And this quote really nails the key takeaway. What if the goal isn't to live forever, but to simply make aging a treatable, manageable condition, just like we treat other diseases? That completely reframes the entire mission, doesn't it? Just let that sink in. Not immortality, but a world without the frailty and disease that comes with old age. A world where an 80-year-old can feel like a 40-year-old. That might not be forever, but it would fundamentally change everything about what it means to be human. The only question left is, are we ready for a revolution that big?